What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach video podcast, and it's another reveal. I'm absolutely pumped to show you my new looking team after diving in, looking at the stats even further, analytics, even after I've been doing a couple or a few extra videos for myself and for you guys, and just thinking, wait, that's actually a better pick that I should do, or that's a better strategy. So that's exactly what I'm here to show you is my new team reveal number 2. Now, I'm not going to be the type of person that does 5 team reveals before the preseason starts. This will be my final one before the preseason, and then I'm not even going to do a team reveal in between sort of the trials of the preseason, whatever they call it now. Once that's all done, then I'll have a team reveal again. And then once I guess like final team lists are out, I'll have the last and final one. And on top of that, if you do follow me throughout the season, I am going to be telling you each and every trade I do each week, confirmed, locked in, so you know what I'm doing as well. So thanks for being here once again. Let's get straight into it. Like, subscribe, and comment if you are on YouTube watching. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give a 5-star review. It honestly does help a ton and gets my channel out there a bit more for NRL Supercoach content. All right, so I'll go through my team, essentially what I've changed and now where I'm at. Starting off, Reed Marnie. I've actually decided to go Reed Marnie. I had Harry Grant in before, and I think I just came to the reasoning of, one, I can pretty much, I'm not going to say guarantee, but I'm going to say there is a high chance that Reed Marnie is just going to make a bit of money. And what does that mean? There's no risk, or a little bit of risk in him, right? So $418,100. 70 minutes plus, you'd think, at Cowboys, a team that also doesn't have as much attack as the Bulldogs, in my opinion. So what does that mean? That means he could be tackling even more. He could be one of the highest tacklers this whole season, which could benefit him a lot. And he's never really been like the playmaker sort of type of guy. So if he's just sitting there plugging away, getting tackles, the base is high, I think it warrants him as being a very, very high ownership pick this season. And that's why I've gone with him. Brandon Smith, this could be any cheapie, to be honest with you, but I've just got to plug him in there. It's just going to be a cheapie. I was tinkering, and I don't mind, I'll be honest, Reed Marnie, Jake Simpkin, but I think that's too much money into the hooker position. Once you see my full team, you'll understand I'm pouring money into other sort of areas of the team. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you need to do. There was only one hooker last season that actually scored quite good points, and that was Blake Brayley. I think the rest were quite low. They were about 1,200 for memory, and Blake Brayley was either 1,600 or 1,800 in total points. And I just think we can't pour a lot into hookers. It's been there all season that hookers don't really do much for you, and I don't want to change that. All right, next, going into my front row. So I am going in with, and I always do this in Supercoach, I want my whole team to be based around making money early, okay? And the less risk I have in each position means the more things I can focus on when there's a bad situation. So if I have 80-90% of my team looking good and one thing looks ugly, I get to focus on that one little thing rather than having 5 really overpriced players like a Payne Haas, Terrell May, maybe I've got a Tedesco, and then it's like, wow, all 3 of them are doing a bit average, or it's just low scoring and I've got to worry about 3 things. So I'm trying to go from that angle. Jermaine Hopgood, $517,900, has 2RF duality as well, which I really like about him this season. But I guess I love the price tag as well. He will only be here if he's playing prop. I assume he will be. That is going to be a watch. I've said that in my other team reveal video. But I think with his numbers and what he can achieve in that position and what he showed to the back end of the season, obviously, you know, I don't think he's going to be someone that's popping 70 plus. He's not going to be reaching the Terrell May, Payne Haas category. If he does, great, but I don't think that's going to happen. I have to be realistic. But if he can even get a 55 to 60 each game, I'll be super, super happy with that. Really, really happy. Had a bit of an injury issue with the back last season as well. Hopefully he's all just healthy and good to go this season, so don't have to worry about that. And Parramatta get a fresh start and hopefully perform a bit better this season as well. Trey Mooney, $442,000, has 2RF duality as well. So both my FRFs have duality, which is really, really nice. And pretty simple pick. Great base machine, 442,000, super cheap as well. And I think he'll beat that price, if not just sort of sit around it, and that's fine with me. And then I can worry about other things in my team. But he's for the Newcastle Knights. So we'll see how they start to the season. We know how they started last season. It wasn't that great. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Tanella Paseka, $328,600. I think he's going to be a very, very high ownership player, especially for FRF3 or possibly FRF4 if you want to do that. There is even a possibility that you are really crazy and do FRF2 for him, but he's just, had a big miss last season due to an injury, comes back in, $328,600, pretty cheap. He's not that basement price, but for what he can do base-wise, for what he can do in a team where I think he'll be the main FRF front row forward for the Manly Seagulls. And I think also a lot of people are writing off the Manly Seagulls. For me, and I was one of them, I don't actually think that's the case. I'm very curious to see how they play. One thing I know with the Manly Seagulls, if they come out firing in the sort of preseason matches, I think a lot of people will flock to some Manly players. So it's going to be a very interesting watch. And then FRF4, Lazarus Falepu. This is just a easy cheapie based on what's happening at the Melbourne Storm. Again, there could be someone that could easily replace him. No doubt there. But no stress if that happens. I have 78,100 in the salary, and essentially I don't need to worry about that at all. Wow, my screen is absolutely bugging out here. Next, I'll go to second row forwards. You might be like, wow, this looks different. But let's get into it. Okay. Starting off, Tino Fa'amasuala'i. You didn't see him last time. You're seeing him now. I've looked through 2RF, and every time I kept scrolling from top to bottom thinking, who can I pick that I think will be semi-reliable? And every time I kept scrolling up and down, it was Tino. Now, I'm not saying that he is going to be 70 plus. If he is, great. But I do think they are going to have a better season. I do think they have some people back, which is going to only benefit him. And I do think they will be attacking a bit more. So that means he's going to run a bit more. $687,600. Doesn't have duality. That's something that I have to sort of take with a grain of salt because, I mean, it is what it is. It would be lovely if he had FRF duality, but that's not the case. But we know what type of player he is. We know his caliber. And I think for me, he's one of the safer picks for Supercoach in the 2RF position that I think is one of the hardest positions in Supercoach at the moment. It's really, really tricky. But again, I'm happy with the pick. I think he's a great player. I think the price tag doesn't worry me to an extent if I'm picking a Hayden Young and I'm biting my nails because I know he needs a few attacking numbers, whereas Tino just grinds away, does what he needs to do, and I'm sort of cool. He might get a 55-60, so be it, but I'll evaluate that come round 3. Next, Cameron Murray, $548,900. Now, I did speak about going Hamish Stewart over Cameron Murray and just not having Cameron Murray at all, but, I thought about this and I'm just Souths don't need to be great for Cameron Murray to be great. And I think this guy has spoken for himself enough. Okay. We know what type of player he is. Again, he's very similar to a Tino. He just gets the work done. And look, surely Souths are a bit better than last season. Surely they get a bit more attacking chances. And Cameron Murray, hopefully fit and healthy. That is obviously the preseason watch. But if he looks really good, I think you'll see his ownership numbers go up quite a bit, to be honest with you, because he is a class player. And I think I just have to have him in. Again, you can see I'm trying to be super kind of safe with it because I don't see Cameron Murray going under like 45, 50. I just really can't see that unless they have like a shocker game where they're losing like 40-10. Next, I have Hamish Stewart, 402,000 from St. George Dragons. I've spoken about him before. I just think he's going to be the guy and the safest pick in Dragons forward pack to actually just make some money, not have to worry about it. I did have Toby Couchman in before, but I didn't want to double up on the Dragons because I think they will have a bit of a rougher season. But that's just me. I could be completely wrong. Sorry for the Dragons fans listening. But this guy's a great player with a bit more minutes. He's going to clear this 402,000 price tag. Pretty self-explanatory. Jermaine McEwen, $407,700. He is listed as one of my reserves on the bench. Gets an opening because Kai Pearce-Paul has left. If you look into his numbers, you can see that just with more minutes, he becomes and scores more frequently. It doesn't have to be attacking stats either. He's just a really good, has a really good base as well, and that's what I like about him. I think he'll be a popular pick. Look, maybe one of these picks will definitely go wrong. Maybe it is Jermaine McEwen, but based off everything I see so far, I'm really sort of happy with the pick. I don't want to dive too into like Newcastle Knights. Like I think I don't want more than 3 players in the Newcastle Knights. I think there's going to be some people that are going with like Trey Mooney, McEwen, Dylan as the halfback, and then like Ponga. Then you can even go Sandon Smith. So that's like way too much for me. So I don't want to put all my eggs into one jar. But yeah, that's who I'm sticking with as second row forward, just sitting on the bench there as reserve. My next reserve as well, I'm going to pronounce this wrong again. I'm sorry. Is it Jesse Colquhoun? Apologies if I've absolutely butchered first and second name. I'm sorry about that. $332,500. Cameron McGuinness injured. He should be easily clearing this price tag. Has FRF duality as well, which is great for, a little cheapie where if something does go wrong with, Paseka or Valepu, he goes up. That's fine. No problem. So yeah, there's a lot of movement there and a lot of things we can do. And then he should just be a safe pick that can get, I'm not thinking he's going to go 50. Maybe he gets around 40. Sure. Happy with that. Atavali Lasardi, Melbourne, $269,400. Obviously, this pick will change if Eli Katoa somehow randomly comes back into the team. But if Eli does not, this guy will be slotted in as the cheapie 2RF number 6. And I think he will just be one of the biggest cheapies owned if that's the case, to be honest with you. All right, let's go to halfbacks. Nothing has really changed here from my last team reveal. I'm still sticking with Sam Walker, $683,300. I think the Roosters are going to be one of the better teams in the comp. I think Sam Walker is the cog of that team. Now, the only thing I'm going to be sort of watching is how does he go with DCE? If it's like a scenario where Nico Hines and Braden Trindle were playing, or when they were playing, and sort of Braden comes in and sort of takes more of the ball, Nico fades off. If that's the case, which I don't think it will be, then I'll readjust. Maybe I'll look at going something like a Mitchell Moses, who's a lot cheaper, or maybe even find money and try and go to a Nathan Cleary, which I'm not overly wanting to do. But again, there'll have to be something done there. But at the moment, I'm happy with Sam Walker. His price tag, I've said this before, a bit high, but I think he's just going to be someone who I kind of just hold and just believe in the pick unless it looks really, really bad. But, I mean, come on. Goal kicker. He's a try-assist machine. He is, honestly, I believe he's like a upcoming, I wouldn't even say upcoming superstar. I just think he's someone that with a healthy season, no injury, just look at the way he came back from his injury and just started dominating every game. He's an absolute beast. So really happy with that. And then on the halfbacks, Ethan Sanders, or basically just the cheapie from Canberra, whoever gets that position between him and Mr. Black, we call him, they'll go slotted in right there, but no stress there. Now, 5'8", Cameron Munster, $682,200, and Pezzett as 5'8", number 2. Obviously, I don't have Harry Grant in, so I do want a piece of the Melbourne Storm pie, and Munster is that piece. I'm really happy with that. I think he's just, again, he's very similar to Sam Walker. He's the cog of that team. He's always doing, the left footer kicks, the little grubbers, the little try assists. He's always the guy that is try assisting. And I think he's got the capability of just getting around this mark of $682,200. I think it's also, I did say that 2RF is one of the harder positions this Supercoach season. I also think picking the right halfback and 5'8" will be very interesting. I think some people are going to take a lot of gambles and a lot of them won't pay off. And then there'll be some people that absolutely hit the money. So interesting to see what that will be. But yeah, for now, it's Cameron Munster and then Pezzett as 5'8" obviously slotting in for the Parramatta Eels alongside Mitchell Moses. That should be an easy cash grab there. All right, wings and centers. I still have Karaz in. I still have Latrell Mitchell and I still have Nick Meaney. Karaz, I just think is, besides the, round 2 bye, their draw doesn't look too bad. We know he's just going to be one of my Uber premiums with Tino and one more, which you will see. But at $746,700, yes, a bit pricey, but I think he can actually get to this price. I really think he's going to have a great season. I think Bulldogs are really pushing for a premiership. They've been trying to get there, the last couple of seasons. And I'm really scared not to have him. So I'm going to have him in my team and just see how that goes and how they look. But I'm pretty sure he'll just stay slotted in. Latrell Mitchell, $626,800. This was most probably the toughest pick for me. I didn't really know what to do here. I previously was like just fiddling around with other things. But obviously, I just want to see how he goes and how he looks in the preseason, how South look as a team. But it's Latrell Mitchell in the centers with David Fafita and Cody Walker. Sounds great to me. I assume that's where he's going to be, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyone knows any information on that, that would be great. But yeah, slotted in Latrell Mitchell. We know what he's capable of. We're hoping South have a better season. There's talks about them being a premiership team. I think that is false. Their halves just don't cut it. But I do think they will be a better team this coming season. Next, I have Brian To'o, $598,800. If I'm saying Brian To'o and the number next to him to start with is 5, I think that's pretty crazy. I think he's very capable of getting 60 plus. Has great base. Hopefully the hamstring is all good. He was having some issues last season. He's had a bit of a rest now. Comes back fresh. So we'll see how they do. They obviously have a bit of fire in their belly as well. So I really like the pick. He's a certified center wing. He's a certified Supercoach scorer. Can score a double try in a game. And I think they'll be stinging. And I think the Penrith Broncos game will be really interesting to see how Penrith are in that game. If they can get a win there, boy, oh boy, it would be scary not to have someone like Brian To'o and even a Nathan Cleary after that. Nick Meaney, we all know what I think about Nick Meaney. Look, still a risky pick, but the full-time goal kicker at Melbourne Storm. He's obviously covering the Harry Grant fade off as well, but I love what he does for the team. If he's playing at fullback as well, that'll be a huge plus. So I'm really, really interested to see what they do there, whether he plays fullback or not. That'll be sort of like, if he's fullback, automatic clincher. And then, pardon me, I just have some cheapies, waiting for cheapies to come through, but Makasini from West Tigers, and then same as before, Nick Sugranis from St. George, and then Set 2-2 from St. George as well. Just waiting to see news on that, but no stress there. Next, I have 2 fullbacks, Kalen Ponga, $607,800, and then Keanu Kinney, $495,000. Look, I'm a content creator where I'm happy to admit where I could be wrong, and maybe I was wrong on Kinney. Time will tell. But I think it's better that I play Kinney to start with a lower price tag, and then obviously Kalen Ponga, $607,800. He is going to look super, super good. I assume they're going to be playing much better footy, and I think he can definitely beat this price tag for sure. And Keanu Kinney, look, if he's fit and healthy, I just think he'll be one of the picks people just auto-insert in. I know I went Far Logo instead, but I think Kinney is the right play now instead of Far Logo, especially if Far Logo doesn't get fullback spot. Last but not least, Payne Haas in my flex position. Very interesting, right? $852,700 FRF. and in the flex. Now, maybe you're like, whoa. Maybe you're like, what the hell? Maybe you're like, damn, that's cool. I'll give you my reason for doing this. Now, there's no doubt going to be an issue in some part of my team, okay? Now, I've done this for a multitude of reasons. One, Payne Haas is just a gun, and I'm very scared not to have him. He's also someone that he can be a safe captaincy pick, whereas with others in my team, I don't really have a safe captaincy pick. So I think I'll just be putting the C on him to start with for round 1 and just evaluating how teams are looking, etc., etc. He's also a good vice captaincy pick if you wanted to go there and try a little nuffy, but I don't think that'll be the play. Second of all, if he does bad, I can come down to any fullback. I can do anything I want because he's in the flex position. If one of my front row forwards do bad, if one of my second row forwards do bad, I can then manipulate, or not manipulate, but I can go, okay, let's say Cameron Murray does awful. Trey Mooney comes down, Payne Haas goes into flex, and then I can get what Payne Haas goes into front row forward, and then I can get whatever flex I want, whatever player that's looking good. And this could give me the opportunity to get a cheapie in at flex, like Iongi last season, that just generates me cash. So my plan is I'm sort of like fire or bulletproofing a scenario where I am thinking Payne Haas will need to move, and then I open up flex and I get whoever's looking really, really good as a cheapie that can be my cash generator in flex, and do the same thing as Iongi. Now, some of you will mostly be like, I think this is silly because, you don't have a third fullback, and other people may have a third fullback. Sure, that you could be right, but I have 2 rounds to get to that fullback or get to that person. But then what I'm also doing is allowing myself to basically get any other position that I want, and still having Haas in my team. So I'm very, very happy with this. I've thought about this quite a bit. It will be staying in my team. Unless something is absolutely garbage and not looking good from a player, then I'll make, changes. But I really don't mind this strat. And it's a bit different, everyone, when the flex started, 3 fullbacks, slot them in, 3 fullbacks. But I thought about this and I'm like, surely something is going to go wrong in my FRF to RF position. I can't bank on everything being good. Maybe it's even Tino. Maybe one of them get injured. Tino's not looking good. He's only getting like 40 to 50. All of a sudden, Hopgood comes down. He's playing great. Haas comes up. I make a bit of dosh. Boom. Flex is open. I feel free as a bird in the sky. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this team reveal number 2. Let me know your thoughts on my strategy. Let me know your thoughts on my team. And let me know someone maybe you're looking at definitely going. And you're like, I think you should definitely look at this player because they're going to be doing amazing. But that is my team so far. Just a quick rundown. Reed Marnie, Brandon Smith, Jermaine Hopgood, Trey Mooney, Tanela Paseka, Lazarus Valepu, Tino, Cameron Murray, Hamish Stewart, Jermaine McEwen, Jesse Colquhoun, Atavalu Lasardi, Sam Walker, Ethan Sanders, Cam Munster, Jonathan Pezzett, I think his first name is, Karaz, Mitchell, Meany, To'o, with Sugranis, Makasini, and Setutu in the bench there. Kini Ponga, and then Haas as my flex. Anyway, guys, take care. Please like, subscribe, comment for the YouTube video, and of course, 5-star review for the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It is Wolfie here from the Rage Traders. Take care. See you on the next one.